Something huge is brewing in the XRP world, and barely anyone is talking about it. Everyone's eyes are still on Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, right? But behind the scenes, the groundwork for an XRP ETF, it's already in motion. And when it happens, $20, it's not just possible. It's going to be the start of something way bigger than people are ready for. And no, this isn't some wild price call out of thin air. We're going to break down real data, ETF history, institutional money flow, and XRP's insane setup right now. Because the market, it's finally waking up to what we've known all along. XRP isn't just another altcoin. It's built different. By the time we're done, you're going to understand exactly why $20 might be conservative and why getting in before the next move could be the smartest play in all of crypto. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Bitcoin, 103,000. Oh, excuse me. It flipped right in front of our very eyes. $104,012. It's currently down 0.83%. Ethereum coming in at 2,478. It's currently down 5%. Both USDT and USDC coming in at their dollar pegs as XRP. It hasn't moved. Someone give it the old flick or the old push from behind. Someone just give it the old kick in the ass. Coming in at $2.15. And we're about to talk about Ripple and Circle, because just because they went public does not mean that they are off the table. Wait until you see this. And as always, folks, if you are not in the Patreon group, I will link it down below. Join the Patreon group, especially if you want to support the OG channel. The second video of the day is only in the Patreon group. It's $5 a month. Plus, we just put out 7 charts on Monday. Every Monday, you get technical analysis so you can understand the setup for the week and what we are looking at here. We had the XRP chart in there. We had the 12-hour. We showed you the cup and the handle. We told you that it could break down below 50% of that handle. And bada beam, bada boom, what did we get? The exact price target that XRP is sitting in. Over $983 million were liquidated in the last 24 hours, with 891 million being from long positions. So what are the market makers doing once again? It's very simple. They are wiping the longs. People are longing the markets. They are super bullish. And you know what's going on? They are wiping them out because they know that if they get these people out, if they are able to liquidate the longs and drive the prices back down, that they can instantly pump them back up and remove these folks from the markets. Why do they want to do that? Well, there's not enough Bitcoin out there. There is a Bitcoin shortage. Miners don't have it. The OTC desks are drying up, and they're going to be forced to buy from the exchanges. Once that institutional money is forced to go to the exchange and purchase Bitcoin, the price is going to go through the roof. And then El Crypto Professor put this out. He says, if only people would see that the total 2 repeats the cycle from back then. We're in the blue area. The next phrase is the parabolic price action for altcoins. There it is. Let me show you this. It's actually the total 3 what we want to look at, because that excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. So when we remove all the money that's in Bitcoin and Ethereum right here, we are looking at about, give or take, $830 billion in the rest of the crypto markets. This is going a lot higher from here. I would expect anywhere from 2 to 6 trillion to come in to the markets. Remember, not including Bitcoin and ETH. Even if we get about 4 trillion that comes into these alts, Bitcoin and ETH figure they're going to be sitting around 3 trillion. That gets you to your 7 trillion. We're calling for 7 to 10 trillion. That would be the ultimate bullish scenario. So what does that really mean? Well, it's simple. Altcoins are going a lot freaking higher. And then check this out. This is interesting right here. Uber. Yeah, everyone knows what Uber is. They are considering stable coins here to help reduce the price of cross-border money movement. Now, why is that interesting? Who remembers the She's Burless slide that mentioned Uber back in the day when he slipped up and said something about Amazon? I sure do. Now, there's no direct connections or anything directly from Ripple ever mentioning talking to Uber. But if they are looking to reduce the cost of cross-border money transfers, I mean, it seems like XRP plays a very, very reliable and important role here over stablecoins. Now, if we look at notable developments, don't forget the indirect collaboration with MoneyGram back in 2020. Ripple's ex-partner, I should say, partnered with MoneyGram in 2020. Why? Well, they were going to offer discounted digital money transfers to Uber drivers and couriers. This initiative here, it aimed to support the gig workers in sending money globally, leveraging MoneyGram's cross-border payment service. Let's not forget, in 2021, Ripple appointed Brooks Enswell, a former Uber executive, as the managing director for Southeast Asia. His experience at Uber, particularly in navigating the regulatory landscapes, is expected to boost the Ripple's expansion efforts in the region. And then, a little speculation, why not? Recent unverified reports suggest that Uber may begin accepting XRP as a payment method for its service. It's interesting as well, right? So we got a lot of developments here. We do have a former executive from Uber who is working over at Ripple now. We know about MoneyGram and their partnership with their partnership with Ripple, but their partnership with Uber to move money cross borders. I know. And in Matthew Line, I put this out. Digital asset adoption is going to accelerate from here. Those who have made connections with TradeFi will be winners. This was a report put out just a couple of days ago by Deloitte talking about the use cases of cryptocurrencies in business. They talk about why you should consider using crypto in here. Back in 2016, Deloitte showcases the integration of Ripple's technology into Temenos T24, allowing real-time international payments. Now, TradeFi bridges are the new moats, folks. What does that mean? Well, as institutions enter, they're not starting from scratch. They're partnering with entities that understand regulation, compliance, and settlement rails. Ripple has spent the last decade building relationships with banks, central banks, and payment corridors worldwide. You see how this is all playing in together here? And then when we look at other rumors now that are floating out there that we need to pay attention to, and we're not going to get into the circle stuff, we'll have to cover that another time. And we see that Ripple is gaining approval. But when we talk about ETFs, and Matt Hogan just said that XRP is on the path here for an ETF. Now, I've spoke about we're not going to see this to the end of summer. Why? Because everyone is, they're away for vacation, which we all kind of consider. That's what happens in summer, especially when school's out. People got families. You get all the points here. They need to take them out. But what we are looking at here is the fact that Matt Hogan is telling you that an ETF is on its way. When we look at the ETFs that have happened in the past, and we look at Bitcoin, that ETF wasn't just a win, but this was a liquidity supercharger. So when Bitcoin spot ETF went live in 2024, Bitcoin saw over 12 billion in inflows within a week. 12 billion. Folks, that's not retail money. That's pensions, hedge funds, RIAs allocating capital for the long haul. And the key here is consistency. These aren't swing trades. It's capital that locks in for quarters or years, not days. Ethereum spot ETF approval came next. And the same thing happened. Billions in inflow. Analysts called it the Wall Street onboarding phase. And it's not done. It's just getting started. These approvals created a ripple effect, no pun intended, where financial advisors suddenly had green lights to diversify crypto exposure beyond Bitcoin. Now, XRP has legal clarity. Bitcoin and Ethereum still technically lack that, right? Here's what most do not realize. XRP is the only top crypto with judicial clarity in the United States. That alone gives it a stronger regulatory foundation for an ETF than Ethereum had at approval. Judge Torres ruled XRP is not a security when sold on exchanges. So in theory, it's ETF ready right now. ETFs increase demand without increasing supply. That's a recipe for price surge, especially for an asset like XRP, which has a capped supply and massive amounts locked away in an escrow. When that demand hits an illiquid market, that's how price goes vertical. In 2020, institutions like MicroStrategy entered the Bitcoin market before a parabolic run. In 2024, ETF approvals did the exact same thing. If XRP gets the nod, or I should say when it gets the nod, it could be the kickstart to the biggest bull run yet. Remember, ETFs don't end a cycle. ETFs start a cycle. An XRP ETF wouldn't just be about speculation. It would represent a play on the 150 trillion global cross-border settlements market. Think of it like this. Bitcoin ETFs are digital gold plays, but XRP ETFs, they're digital utility plays. So when the institutions come flooding in and all that money is looking to accumulate XRP through these ETFs and they need to purchase them because it has to be a one-to-one backing, that $20 XRP price tag, it's coming. I'm going to leave it like that, give you something to think about as we head into this amazing weekend. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe to the new channel. Other than that, I'll catch y'all in the next one.